here we go. Back again. Alright? And today it is Meme of the Week. And of course, last week's winner. And I can confirm, news just in, we do indeed have a winner. And a singular winner. And of course, this was the contenders from last week. And yeah, pretty good. I think I know which one I would have went for, right? And the votes have been calculated, and the winner was number 5. Of course, it was number 5, right? And this, of course, is our good pal Huxley. Yeah, and it said the perfect dictatorship would have the appearance of a democracy, but would basically be a prison without walls, in which the prisoners would not even dream of escaping. It would essentially be a system of slavery where, through consumption and entertainment, the slaves would love their servitudes, right? And yeah, I'm sure that all sounds very, very fucking familiar, right? Because, let's face it, we are basically all slaves to the system. And I seen a meme, which is not in this week's contest, but it said that modern slaves are not in chains, they are in debt, right? And that is very, very true. And in terms of our friend Huxley, well, yeah, he indeed was a Freemason, and I'm sure most of you will know that, especially if you have read Huxley's book, A Brave New World, probably his most famous. And I recall when I read it that it gave me similar thoughts and feeling as to when I read George Orwell's 1984, right? So yeah, ain't that a coincidence? But of course, they knew each other, and we will touch on that. And like our pal, our hero George, or Eric, if you like, Huxley is indeed a fucking Freemason. And there is no doubt about it. And the sign that he's doing in this photo is to indicate that he is indeed a master Mason. So obviously being a very good boy. And as you see, Benjamin Franklin, a well-known Freemason, seemingly a scientist, doing the same sign. And in terms of Huxley, he was an English writer and philosopher. He wrote nearly 50 books, both novels and non-fiction works, as well as wide-ranging essays, narratives and poems. Born into the prominent Huxley family, he graduated from Balliol College, Oxford, with an undergraduate degree in English literature, right? I hate saying that word, literature, right? I just hate it for some reason. I always get it wrong. And yeah, in terms of Huxley, well, we will look at a few things. And here are a few facts about our hero, right? Of course, he had great insight as to what was in store for us. And here's one of the facts, and it is that he taught French to George Orwell. Right, so he did indeed know Eric Blair very well, I would imagine. So yeah, that will come as no surprise. He worked as a screenwriter in Hollywood. Now, ain't that another surprise? And yeah, he was indeed involved with Hollywood and, more importantly, Disney, right? And yeah, that pretty much says it all, really. And another fact that I feel is a dead giveaway as to Eric bloody Huxley being part of the agenda is that he spoke of the potential dangers of overpopulation. Right. Yeah, and that to me fucking says it all, really. Another one here, number 10. His death wasn't highly publicised due to JFK's assassination. Right. So it must have happened in the same week or month. Well, no, it was on the same fucking day. Right, and again, I think that is no coincidence. Right, there's no such a thing. Let's face it. There's no such thing as a coincidence. Right, and a lot of people have exposed Huxley for what he is, and if you do a bit of digging, you will find different articles and even videos that other people have done, although I have not seen many myself. Although I haven't really looked, to be fair. I'd imagine that he has been called out. This person here definitely called him out for what he was. As you can see, it says, as the Huxleys were true-blooded I hate saying this word as well, aristocrats, and due to the fact that so many high-up Masons made reference to Audless's writings, it remains very probable that both he and Julian were up to their ears in Freemasonry, right? And yeah, I mean, you won't find a logbook of a lodge that has his name. Well, you might if you look hard enough, but without even having that, it's pretty clear that Audless would have been indeed a Freemason. And then goes on to mention, in 1936, brainwashing was a subject that intrigued Huxley greatly, and to which he returned again and again. Right. With the rise of fascism in the 1930s, Huxley felt compelled to write a rather long essay on the matter of using chemicals to change the masses' minds. Right. So, with that said, I think we are now beginning to see Huxley's true intentions, or even true colours, if you like, right? And this article was pretty good. It did link in where other Freemason websites and Masonic masters, if you like, have referenced Huxley. And I won't read all this, but as you can see, the middle paragraph towards this, like the second bottom line of the middle paragraph, he is mentioned in terms of the doors of perception. Right, so if you want to read that, you can pause it and have a look. But there is another article, well, it's actually a PDF that I had to download, and it is from the Cornerstone Society, and it is The Secret Identity of Freemasons. And once again, Huxley is mentioned. Ain't that a fucking surprise, right? So yeah, they know. They will indeed know about Huxley. The Master Masons, they will have, of course, certain knowledge as to who was indeed a Mason or a spy even, or sort of undercover Mason. But yeah, I think we are beginning to see the true colours that are behind our good pal, fucking Huxley. I almost forgot his name there again. And it is indeed MK Ultra, right? And I don't mean the strain of weed. I am, of course, referring to mind control. That is what it is. And if you don't know about MK Ultra or MK Naomi, then look it up. It is not a conspiracy. And yeah, it's all there to see. It is, of course, a CIA project. And it's even been covered by the History Channel, right? So you will find information on it. And of course, they have said that it's all stopped now and it's not happening. But if you believe that, you probably would believe anything. right? And we will touch on MK Ultra a wee bit just now, right? Just for the crack. So if we go to this article here, which is from Interesting Engineering last year, 10th of August, the CIA's mind control and LSD program MK Ultra, right? And in this article, we will touch on some of the seemingly intended goals of the project. And yeah, in this article, it did also say that it had been set up so they could extract information from them pesky Russians, right? So they could get the Russian spies to hand over information. So again, that to me is a red flag, because that would have been a false flag, if you like, the Russian spy story. And yeah, we will touch on some of the stated goals of the MK Ultra program, right? 1. Promote illogical thinking and impulsiveness so that the recipient would be discredited in public. So yeah, that sounds great, that. But it does also sound really familiar for some reason. And number 2, increase mental activity and perception. 3, cause a victim to age faster or slower. 4, cause temporary or permanent brain damage and loss of memory. And yeah, that again all sounds pretty familiar, right? Or maybe that's just me. And number 5, enhance the ability to withstand privation, torture, and coercing during interrogation. Right, so I'm beginning to think this wasn't just for extracting info from Russian spies, right? And number 6, produce amnesia for events both preceding and during their use. 7, produce shock and confusion over extended periods of time. 8, produce physical disablement such as paralysis of the legs. Right, so just through mind control, you could end up paralysed, or at least believe that you are paralysed. Number 9, alter personality structure, causing the recipient to become dependent upon another person. 10, lower ambition and working efficiency. Right? And I'm sure them again, they will ring a few bells, I would imagine. 11, weaken or distort eyesight or hearing. 12, knock someone out and be surreptitiously administered in drinks, food, cigarettes, or as an aerosol. Wow, now ain't that interesting, right? 13, make it impossible for someone to perform physical activity, right? And again, all that, it sounds really, really familiar. Now, it would not surprise me one bit to find out that they do indeed have the majority, or the masses, if you like, under some form of MK Ultra or mind control. That in fact, it would make sense, let's face it, because the majority of time, with everything really, we are left scratching our heads thinking, well, that's not right, but it happens anyway. So I would imagine that, yeah, it's funny actually that they mention it being administered via aerosol, right? Because, yeah, just go outside and look up in the sky. God only knows what they have been fucking spraying, probably since about the 1970s, I would imagine. And in terms of Huxley, as you can see here, it mentions that he was a key player in the behind MK Ultra, but I actually think that he was more than a key player in the MK Ultra program. I would say that Huxley is the godfather of MK Ultra, right? I would imagine that that's what he is. He's basically the main man behind it. But of course, there will be someone before or above him. And I would imagine that that is Alistair Crowley, right? And there is evidence that the two of them did in fact know each other and did indeed meet and even dined together, right? And as you can see from that article there by Paul Maguire, at the bottom it says that while speaking at UC Berkeley in 1962, Aldous Huxley outlined his vision for the ultimate revolution. Wow! Which is a Luciferian and scientific dictatorship, right? Sounds a bit like fucking Bill Gates. And in terms of the meeting, the evidence is, if you look at the bottom of this article, the document relating to their meeting is an unpublished Crawley diary from October the 2nd, 1930, and it's on page 18 and 19, seemingly. So they did definitely meet. And yeah, I wonder what was said, right? And in terms of Crawley, well, yeah, he again was indeed a master mason, right? And I'm sure that that will come as no surprise whatsoever, right? And I will indeed make a video on Huxley, a video all for himself, right? He deserves it, and possibly Crawley. So yeah, look out for that. But this is, of course, Meme of the Week, right? And thanks again to everyone who takes part and who puts in their votes, right? And engages with the channel. Thank you very much. Anyway, with that said, this is this week's top 5. Number 1, vote Muppet, you will get one anyway. And it is a picture of the Muppets. And that is, of course, because politicians are puppets, right? Straight up. Number 2, if you are not angry, you are not paying attention. Alright? Yep. And I like that one. Number 3, stop believing in authority. Start believing in each other. Damn straight. And that is, again, another good one. And this is number 4. And as you can see, it's a kid watching TV. And it says, teach kids how to think, not what to think. And yep, that is another classic meme. And finally, number 5, trying to think of another normal behaviour we could label a disorder so I can make billions off the pills. And yeah, that is, of course, the pharmaceutical company who always come up with, or come out with, these disorders. And of course, they always have the solution, right? But of course, they create the problem in the fucking first place. Anyway, that is it for this week's Meme of the Week. I will be back on Thursday with the Then Previously Thought Syndrome, because, believe it or not, right, I shit you not, the deception, it continues. Ain't that a fucking surprise? Anyway, that is about it. Bye-bye.